If you notice, weekends are peak periods for some businesses. Holidays are peak periods for some businesses. For example, movies, restaurants, and then resorts, and then meat shops. Particularly, they are busy on Sundays, right? On even holidays, right? Most of the businesses have these peak periods where they do lot of business, they do lot of revenues during that particular day of the week or month. Sometimes holidays for resorts, particularly hotels, and every business, right? And what I want you to understand, if you are in a business where you notice your business does really well during the peak period, but during off time you don't have any business at all, whether you have business but it's very meager, right? Your footfalls to your restaurant is very less, and even if you run a movie theater during weekdays, the seats are not filled. Meat shops, usually during weekdays, the traffic is very less. So what do you do during those periods? Every business usually runs on its own during the peak period, right? When the season is good. So there is a natural pull from the market. But what I have noticed is some businesses, they have created a strategy to leverage customers, or to pull the customers during non-peak period also. For example, PVR cinemas recently, I have noticed they have created a weekday membership plan, right? It's quite natural. Their Saturdays and Sundays, or even Friday evenings, the seats are usually filled, houseful movies, right? But during weekdays, every one of us know that theaters don't do well. So they have created a weekday offer, non-peak day offer. They have created something like this, which I got intrigued by that. A weekday membership plan where you pay certain amount of money monthly, or I guess it was 3 months once or 6 months once. You pay as a membership fee, and you can visit the theater maybe 2, 3 times, 4 times during the weekday, right? At a very low cost, right? The idea is, the resources are same, right? Even during the weekdays, the theater has to invest on the same resources, staff particularly, their coffee and all those things. It's a fixed cost, right, for the theater, and the rent, everything is fixed. So they've created this strategy to lure in the audience even during the weekday, so that the seats gets filled, and they have this trickle down effect on these sales also, all these popcorn, cakes, coffee and all those things. It's a good strategy, I believe. I came to know about this when my son Vishal was trying to buy this membership, because he's a movie buff, and people like him love to watch movies, not just in a peak period, right? They even are comfortable in watching the movies with 3-4 people, even though there are no crowd around them, and they are full-time movie professionals, right? So 24/7 he used to think about movies, so he doesn't mind going to movies only on Fridays or Sundays. Movie is their profession, right? There are a lot of movie buffs would love to come to the movie theaters during the weekdays. Even honeymoon couple would prefer some kind of privacy, right? So I guess if you have a strategy like this for non-peak period, dedicating to a particular set of audience, you will be able to fill, you will be able to do well even during the non-peak periods, not just during seasons and peak periods. That's what I have observed. I was consulting a chain of resort. One resort of this company, it was in Lonavala. I was consulting a company there, and I happened to meet this founder, right? He engaged with me in a short-term basis. The only challenge which he faced was during weekends and even during holidays, the resort gets filled automatically. But lot of off-season periods where he was not able to book, where he was not able to fill up the rooms, right? That was his challenge. So what we identified when I sat with him, I've noticed Pune is very close by, right? And what I understood is lot of companies, even I was there when I was working, the employees used to visit all these resorts, nearby resorts, hotels during weekdays also. So we did some research and identified that there were some pain points among all these corporates. They wanted to give some unique experience to their employees. So we created something like a work from resort kind of thing, where he has created some space where people can work from the resort, from the beauty of the hill station, behind those trees, gardens. He has created a small workspace, and we tried this offer through an ad, and it really worked, right? He has even created a dedicated pricing model without compromising on the regular price of the resort, right? Usually what happens is during off season, businesses tend to reduce the price, right? Give discount to the customers. But if you have a right marketing strategy focusing on an audience who really wants to do business with you, or who really has a pain point, who can consume your product or service even during the non-peak period, you have created a great opportunity without discounting. And most importantly, your resources can be balanced out, right? Your fixed costs, like the cost for your space, rent, which you're paying on a monthly basis, or even salary of your staff. If you manage the non-peak period, you can manage your costs also by optimizing more of the revenue. If you bring in more revenue, that's what I understood. So I usually, when I was working with him, I found these questions helpful. So I'm going to read these questions, which you can keep this in mind when you devise your non-peak period strategy, right? Question number 1. So to unlock your off-peak potential, the number 1 question which you need to ask is, who are your potential customers who might prefer off-peak timing, right? Who are your potential customers who might prefer off-peak timing? Number 2 question, what unique value can you offer during slower periods that isn't possible during peak times, right? Number 3 question, how can you transform your weakness, like quieter periods, into strengths? So number 4 question, how can you package and price your offerings to make off-peak periods attractive without devaluing your peak period experience? If you keep these 4 questions in mind, you'll be able to devise a better non-peak period strategy for your business.